So by the time we get Homo on the scene, certainly, but by the time we have obligate bipeds that are good at getting around on two legs, thinking about the why question here, what is bipedality buying you as opposed to being able to walk around on four legs? Can you physically go into different types of environments that you couldn't before? Is there some kind of energetic or physiological advantage or disadvantage that being bipedal gives you compared to being a four-legged animal?
Yeah, so I think this gets to the to more of the why question, and this is related to more of you can ask why on the ultimate sense and the proximate sense, and at the time of of basically the Pleistocene, which is the window of time we're talking about, between 6 and 2 million years ago, we're really looking at this window of time. Climate change is occurring, and the Earth is actually getting a bit cooler, and as the Earth is cooling, these tropical lush forests in parts of Africa are becoming smaller. They're reducing their size, and they're transitioning from these tropical woodland plants to more wooded vegetation that's more patchy forests. So you're getting forests, but they're shrinking in size and becoming more patchy from one forest to the next. And so that opens up tracts of land in between the forests and animals that actually need to move from one forest environment to the other, or they don't. They just stay in the forest environment that they're in. And so one could argue that chimpanzees and gorillas are probably so efficient at what they've done that they stayed in the tropical forest environments that were changing the least. But these other hominins that arose began to exploit this new environmental opening, this new area between the forests, and having to traverse between one forest and the next, potentially to collect resources, potentially because they were pushed out by competition from other forms. We don't know the exact answer. Being able to walk on two legs gave them more efficiency to move between forest environments. It also allowed them to carry objects in a very efficient way, carry offspring. Primates carry offspring cling on to them. So I'm not sure if that would be a very big advantage, but maybe carrying other objects might have been. Being tall and being able to see over the savanna grasslands that are occurring at the time may allow them to look and see over the grass so they don't stumble upon a predator or can avoid predation.
Mhm.
See distance as well. And then there's the argument that some people make that being more linear, being tall and linear, changes the way sunlight hits the body,
Hmm.
and that might have reduced the heat load that's generated on a body over time. And what's clear is that, and this is again based on models of living forms, right? That modern humans, when we walk, we do it very efficiently.
Mhm.
And if you take a chimpanzee and you say walk, and you put them on a treadmill and try to make them walk, they don't do it efficiently. Well, that's kind of not fair because they don't typically walk that way. But it does suggest that human walking is more efficient than chimpanzee walking, and it's more efficient than chimpanzee walking on all fours. So there seems to be a decreased, oxygen use and consumption, and less less energy consumption involved in human walking than other forms. And that's a modern thing, right? Modern humans are walking and we're very efficient. How you model that to look at the earliest time is difficult,
Mhm.
but must have been some energetic select advantage. And I say energetic because when we think about evolution, we often forget that it's really about energy and how we use energy and how we distribute energy to development, reproduction, growth, and homeostasis, fighting disease. And you only have so much energy in your body and almost energy availability.
Yeah.
So it would have been important for early humans to exploit and to acquire energy through diet and exploiting new resources, and not use a lot of energy to do so. So.
Yeah, yeah. And I think implicit in some of the things you were saying is that, a lot of these advantages to bipedal locomotion and related adaptations, like being taller, they make a lot of sense if the forest our ancestors were dwelling in became sparser or patchier, because you got to go, maybe you want to get from one patch of woods to another, but there's a grassland in between. That's only going to, those things are only going to be advantageous if the forest is going away or you're moving into a more grassland like environment or something like this. When these adaptations were arising and we start seeing bipedality become more common in Australopithecus and in early Homo, is there also evidence in the fossil record that the climate was changing, the grasslands were expanding, the forests were getting sparser and that type of thing?